Welcome back. I'm trying this demo for a game called Dupery. So it's a solo deduction game, kind of like Clue, like in that same family. So I wanted to just try the demo and see what it's like. Welcome back, detective. I'm familiar with your past work. Truly remarkable. I didn't think you'd respond to my summons. So you're to blame for me coming out of retirement. Well, I wouldn't be too glad. If they've given me my office back, it must be dire out there. It's true, things have grown bleak as of late. The syndicate has returned, detective, and between me and you, their corruption has spread into the very foundations of the city. You're the only one I can trust. If it wasn't for this case, I'd call you crazy. But I can't make head or tails of this report. Of course, things have changed a lot around here since you left. Let me explain how it works nowadays. Firstly, familiarize with the case information. On the left, I've broken down all of our suspects into 4 categories and list how many of them are each on the board. So we have 1 innocent and 1 underling. Innocent and meddlers are good. They are not part of the syndicate, so we should avoid arresting them. Underling and traitor roles are evil. They are confirmed members of the syndicate. All evil must be arrested before moving on to the next case. So there's 1 innocent and 1 underling in town. Exactly. Next, let's look at our suspect list on the right side. Okay. This is the list of suspected roles that might be involved with this case. You can hover over each role to see what they do. So the priest is an innocent/good. When investigated, I announce I am the priest. When I'm lying or tainted, I'll announce something else. And then a scoundrel is an underling and evil. I cannot die or be arrested unless I am the only unarrested and alive evil. Okay. If you need more information about the roles, simply press right or left while hovering over them. Oh, it's a whole thing. Okay. Never mind. I'm considered a self-confirmed role. When I'm lying or tainted, I announce one of the following. I'm a priest. I am the monk. I don't feel so good. Am I a good priest? Am I a holy priest? Have you come to pray? I was the priest. I'll be the priest. So the only version that we want is I am the priest. If they say anything else, something has happened to them. Investigate, open the door to see who's behind it, announce the act of giving information when a role as announced is displayed below their name when investigated. Lie. When a role is lying, the information they give will be wrong. Abilities used will function incorrectly. Taint. When a role is tainted, they'll be forced to lie and give wrong information. Okay. Now for the other one. Attempting to arrest me still passes time. I ignore all good roles that appear to be evil. I can always be arrested or killed if I am the only true, unarrested, and alive evil. When I am tainted, I can die or be arrested even when I am not the last evil role. Okay. Remember, all play roles are suspected, but not all suspected roles are necessarily in play. What do you mean by in play? Oh, well, if you look at the center here, you can see the board. Every door here has a role living behind it. Roles on the board count as in-play roles. As such, not in-play roles are roles that are suspected, but not actually on the board. I think I got all that. So we have a scoundrel and a priest living behind these doors. Indeed, this case is open and shut. We just need to find out which is which. Hold the right or the left to investigate a role. Doing so, let's see what role is behind the door. To start, let's investigate both roles. I am the priest. Okay, I think we found our syndicate member. Okay. Okay. I think we did what we needed to do. Here's another case I encountered recently. It demonstrates one of the biggest problems with the syndicate. They're experts at lying and pretending. Thankfully, we can use our information to figure out which is which. In these kinds of situations, why don't we just arrest them both? Arresting a good role would certainly cause us trouble, reducing our reputation by 2 notches. So just be careful. If your reputation drops too low, well, I get it. You don't need to spell it out. I've been kicked out of my own office once in the past, so I know how it goes. So I am the priest. Okay. So this one's not accurate. Okay. Before we begin the search, I thought it best to look through some of your old cases. The glory days. Well, what's all this mess? Oh dear, it seems someone's made a mess. We better clean this up. I suppose now would be a good time to show you the new note-taking tools. Try to rub this mess out with an eraser. Click the left to pick it up and hold it to erase. Press right to put the tool down. So someone drew on our crime scene, I guess. There, that should do it. Excellent. Should you wish to make your own notes in the future, make good use of the pen and pins on the left. When using them, you can change the pen or pin's color by scrolling with the mouse or pushing the mouse button to open a color wheel. Like the other tools, pins must be dragged from their spot on the board by holding left. You can click right to remove them. Once your pins are down, you can click left to connect them together with string. Strings, pins, and pins could be useful. Let's get to it, shall we? Of course, detective. This case is a little more complicated than the last one. There are quite a few new suspects. Make sure to have a look at them before making any rash decisions. So we have a reporter. When investigated, I will announce how many steps it takes to reach the closest evil role. Okay. So reporter, we need them to announces how many steps if they're not tainted. If they're lying or tainted, they announce a random number between 1 and 4 that could be incorrect. That's interesting. We have the therapist. So when investigated, I announced how many of my adjacent neighbors were evil. When you're lying or tainted, they announce a number between 0 and 4 that's incorrect. That's a good way to back check it, I guess. We know the priest. Okay, the mailman. When investigated, I announced 1 in play role and 1 in not in play role, specifying which is which. When I'm tainted, both parts of my announcement will be false. Okay. Okay. And then mobster, I think, is new. I lie and pretend to be an in-play role. Okay. And then specter, I obscure a non-meddler role hiding its name. I lie and pretend to be a suspected role. That's going to be interesting. Okay, so let's look at one. So the mailman tells me the priest lives in town. I've never heard of the therapist. That could be... Well, I don't know if that's true, because the therapist is a role. So how would he not know? So he's saying there is a priest, but there's not a therapist. Okay. So we have the reporter. I'm 2 steps away from the nearest evil. So it could be 1, 2, or it could be 1, 2. So either the mailman or whatever this is. Great. So I have 3 evil clients. So for the therapist, these are adjacent neighbors. That's not necessarily true because there's only 2 people on either side of the therapist. I'm 2 steps away from the closest evil. Or it could be 1, 2. Well, we know that's the specter. Because he's obscuring himself. So we know we can arrest him. Oh no, it was a priest. Oh. That's not good. Can I take that back? So if the specter is hiding a non-meddler role and you lie and pretend to be a suspected role, so you're pretending to be the mobster, I guess. Now the thing that's weird with him is he said the priest lives in town, which is true, and we do have the priest, but I've never heard of the therapist. I think that's true. So I think he's evil. So he's the specter. So that means it's not true. There's no 3 evil clients. Now you say you're 2 away from evil, but that feels like it's not accurate. And then you also say you're 2 away from evil, which feels not accurate. Okay, because yeah, it's like you can't both be 2 away from evil. So we messed up with the priest. Okay, so I pretended to be number 3. Okay. So unfortunately, we only did good because we messed up with the priest. So we have 3 innocents, 1 underling, and that's it. So 3 innocents and an underling. So the priest should announce, I am the priest. The mailman should announce 1 in play and 1 not in play. Taylor is new, I think. So pick 2 roles. I announce if they are in the same alignment. Okay. I can target myself with my ability once. When I can target dead, uninvestigated, and unarrested roles. When I'm lying or tainted, I will announce the opposite of what is truthful. Mathematician, I think, is also new. When investigated, I announce the sum of all evil roles and addresses. When I'm lying or tainted, I announce the sum that's either higher or lower than the true sum. Let's start with 1. Detective. Do you see the blue hand symbol? This signifies the role has a one-time ability and is willing to help us. Okay, handy. These are useful skills that you can choose to use whenever you want. To use an ability, simply left-click on the role, then follow the instructions, click right to cancel. Make sure to read what the ability is before jumping in. It's always useful to know what to expect. Well, I don't think we're ready for it yet. They'll announce 2 roles and tell us if they're in alignment. Another Taylor? Yeah, 2 Taylors. One of them must be the mobster. Their ability will still work, but as they are the liar, the information they give us will be incorrect. Use abilities wisely. They're often instrumental in solving cases. We have the priest who says, I am the priest. So I believe the priest. And we have the mailman. The tailor lives in town, but I've never heard of the mathematician. That actually seems truthful. Right? Because they're going to announce... Oh no, not the mailman. You announce 1 in-play role and 1 not in-play role. Well, that's accurate. So these 2 seem accurate, these 2 don't. So I'm going to click 2 roles. Role number 3 and role number 4 are not in alignment. Role number 3 and role number 4 are in the same alignment. Well, that's true. They're both innocent. So... Okay. So I want to say this is the one I want to arrest. Okay. That wasn't too bad. I remember reading this case report years ago. A nasty business. They're both a meddler and a traitor in play. Meddlers and traitors. Rings a bell. Could you perhaps explain those to me again? Well, meddlers are good if you can believe that. They often cause you a lot of trouble, but arresting them will hurt your reputation. Okay, it's all coming back. Traitors are pure evil. They make solving the case much harder. I must arrest any I can find. Correct. Good luck. Thanks so much. Okay, we have new people now. So the weatherman, when investigated, announced 3 addresses. One address leads to an innocent, one leads to a meddler, and one leads to an underling or a traitor. When I'm lying or tainted, I announce 3 addresses. All addresses are either innocent or meddler. We know the priest. We got vigilante. Pick a role. If the selected role is evil, I will kill them. Otherwise, nothing happens. Okay. We have surgeon. On the 12th hour, I might kill an innocent role. That's not helpful. I kill 50% of the time. When I'm lying or tainted, I never kill. And then the critic, you lose twice as much reputation as normal. Others treat your reputation status as poor. I lie and pretend to be a suspected not in play role. Okay. So the mathematician told me 4. So you're going to tell me the sum of all evil roles. Well, it can't be 4 because we know we have a traitor and an underling. So that's kind of a big deal because if I'm lying or tainted, I will announce the sum is either higher or lower than the true sum. Right, because the evil roles can only be 2, so I don't know how they got 4. That's suspicious. The priest. I am the priest. I think 2 is telling the truth. The weatherman. The forecast today. Number 2, number 4, number 6. Well, 2 is true. So they're announcing 3 addresses. 1 will lead to an innocent. So we're saying 2 is innocent, 4 is the meddler, and 6 is the traitor? I don't feel so. No, I know you're not telling the truth. So you're the mobster. So then that means that was true. You're innocent, you're bad, so this should be the traitor. Oh, I don't know. Dead? Oh, he can't help me then. I feel like I have to let you go. Poor? Weren't we supposed... Oh, we weren't supposed to get him. Well, then who's the killer? Oh, duh. It was 1. Okay. So I messed up. And I knew he wasn't telling the truth. I don't know why I killed the surgeon. Okay, detective, something foul is afoot here. I'll have a look at the suspect list. I have a poisoner and a barkeeper in play. They're both sources of tainted information. Roles that are tainted will be forced to lie even if they're good, and as such, you have to be more vigilant. This duo, I remember the headaches he used to give me. What's worse is that the barkeep transforms into another role. When a transformation takes place, the ratio on the left can be outdated. Troubling. Indeed. Read the suspect list, listen to the people, and remember, a role that lies is not always evil. Oh. We know what the reporter does. We know what the therapist does. Now we have a bloodhound. When investigated, I announce the direction of the nearest evil role from me that's in my column or row. If the evil role is at the same distance away from me, I start sniffing. Or I start barking. If I find no evil, I start sniffing. We have the priest, the mailman. Okay, the barkeep. I transform one innocent role into a drunkard. I lie and pretend to be a suspected role. The drunkard. I lie and pretend to be a good, not in play role. And then the poisoner. I taint a random innocent surrounding neighbor. I lie and pretend to be a suspected role. When I'm tainted, I don't taint my target. So we have the reporter. I'm 3 steps away from evil. If that's true. But it's within 1 and 4, so it could be anybody. So we have another reporter that says I'm 1 step away from evil. We have a therapist. I have 0 evil clients. Well, that can't be accurate. When investigated, I announce how many of my adjacent neighbors are evil. When I'm lying or tainted, I announce a number between 0 and 4 is incorrect. I think they've been tainted, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're evil. I'm 4 steps away from the closest evil, which will take you to 5. A bloodhound points north. So, if the closest evil route to me is the same distance away from me, I announced the direction from which... Okay, so that makes me think it's him. Okay. So we have one, but we need the other one. So that means they're not telling the truth. We have the priest. Oh, nope. Because that's the wrong answer. Right? Oh, no, that was the wrong answer. The mathematician lives in town, but I've never heard of the priest. Who would be the mathematician? So maybe someone pretending to be the mathematician? I lie and pretend to be a good not in play role. We got the poisoner. So the priest was tainted. Okay. We know the bloodhound is true. Now we have two reporters. 4 away doesn't really make sense. Because 4 away is... That has to be wrong? Oh. So I messed up with the priest. But reveal all just so we can see. So they were tainted. And you're the drunkard pretending to be the mailman. Okay. Okay. I'm getting the hang of it. Slowly. Detective, you might have noticed as you investigate roles, time moves on. Investigating a role takes 2 hours, while arresting takes 1 hour. Abilities do not take any time to use. You can see the current time on the clock in the upper left. Up until now, it hasn't been very important, but I must warn you. In many neighborhoods, there's still active danger lurking. Roles might change the state of the board over time. Sometimes it's best to arrest someone sooner rather than later. You got that right. Plus, it's not like you're paying me overtime. Great. So which one's new? We have the clockmaker. When investigated, I announce at what time the clock tower will ring. I add a clock tower on the board when I'm suspected. This is a self-confirmed role. When you're lying or tainted, I announce the time in which the clock tower will not ring. Okay. Serial killer, I think, is also new. Every 9 hours, I kill an adjacent good role. If possible, I lie and pretend to be a suspected role. I will always be adjacent to at least one good role. If I'm arrested, dead, or tainted, I do not kill. So we have the clockmaker. The clock will ring from 8 to 9 hours. If it doesn't ring, then they're lying or tainted. If it does ring, then that's the correct person. Okay. Now I have another clockmaker who says it's going to ring between 5 and 6 hours. Oof. Oh, so that's not true. It didn't ring. So, knowing that it didn't ring, they're either lying or tainted. So 7 could be lying or tainted. So we're gonna put a circle here because it sounds like that's a possibility. Now the surgeon, I forget what they do. On the 12th hour, I might kill an innocent role. Kills 50% of the time. I have a little bit of time. It rang between 8 and 9. So they were telling the truth. So we know for sure 5 is telling the truth. So we're going to put a pin. And then we're going to put a pin. And that's it. So that was true. It did ring on time. So Bloodhound points south. So that would mean you. So you're the serial killer. So you didn't kill anybody because I killed you first. I'm still missing another underling. I have to pick a square, I guess. I have the therapist. I have 0 evil clients. Now, I don't think that's accurate. When investigated, I announce how many of my adjacent neighbors are evil. When I'm lying or tainted, I announce a number between 0 and 4 is correct. So adjacent would be these 3. Well, we know he's telling the truth. We know that's the surgeon. So maybe he is telling the truth then. Because I don't think any of these are evil. This is the meddler. So it's between 4 and 6. Oh, the bloodhound is dead. Oh, because they killed him. I'm one step away from evil. That's accurate. The clockmaker, the clock tower. Yeah, no. Okay. I lost somebody, but that's alright. I'm pretending to be the clockmaker. So it sounds like you only get one of each role, potentially. I remember this case. There was a con man. While evil, the con man pretends but does not lie. This can make them quite difficult to find and arrest. Just remember, an evil role is not always lying. Oh, that's great. We've had these. Copycat is a meddler. I pretend to be good in a play role. And in con man, I pretend to be in an in-play role. When I'm arrested, I am not revealed. And we just have to pick a random number. Alright, so mathematician said 8. So, when investigated, I announced the sum of all evil roles' addresses. Well, there's only 2 evil, so that can't be accurate. Oh, how? Oh, they're counting the actual number. Dang, I wish I could take that back. So the number is 8, and that was accurate. So how many ways can you get to 8 between 2 numbers? Because there's only 2 underlings. So you can get to 8, 6 plus 2. You could do 5 plus 3. Right? Yeah, it's only 2 ways you're getting there. So it's between 6, 2, 5, and 3. So 1 doesn't have anything to do with it. I have 3 evil clients. Adjacent to you? Nah, because that's not possible. Yeah. Okay. The vigilante can help. What can you do again? Pick a role. If the select role is evil, I kill them. That's either 2. We determined it is 6. So, to me, that tells me it's 2. How do I make... Okay. Alright. The syndicate rages through the heart of the city. It makes me sick. They must be stopped. We must stop them. We have to act now. Where do we begin? Let me show you what I've discovered so far, then you could pick which lead you want to pursue. Okay, I feel like I'm getting the hang of it. Crime never sleeps, so I guess I won't either. Not while the syndicate continues to spread. I've got work to do. Oh, we can choose. So we have an easy, a normal, and a normal. So there's 5 innocents and a bloodhound spotted. There's 9 addresses in town. Wife spotted in play. Or we could do 1 meddler and 1 partner spotted in play. Let's try just a normal. Because they're not too... I would say they're not super challenging. Oh, I didn't know it was going to be that many roles. Okay. Reporter's not new. Wife is new. So I pick an innocent partner. When investigated, I announce their address. I'm adjacent to my innocent partner. When I'm lying or tainted, I pick an underling partner instead. And I may not be adjacent to them. When the mistress is in play and I'm not lying or tainted, I'll announce I will never forgive my partner. If I found no valid rules to satisfy these rules, I will announce I love myself. So maybe we do want the wife. What else is new? Partner is new. I announce the addresses and corresponding identity of an unidentified role. Starts investigated. I start investigating even when I am lying or tainted. When I am lying or tainted, I pick a random uninvestigated address and announce that they're a random not in play role. I will say hi partner if I am trigger, and all roles are investigated regardless if I'm lying or tainted. Now the fall guy is a meddler. Other roles consider me to be an underling. Other roles cannot pretend to be me. So no one else can be the fall guy. I trick people who have specifically checked my alignment or classification. Other information they might check about me, such as my role and address, are correct. When I'm tainted, I appear to be a good meddler. We know what the copycat is. The mistress is in play, so I'm surrounding the wife's partner lest the wife is lying or tainted. I make the wife jealous. I lie and pretend to be a suspected role. When I am tainted, I don't make the wife jealous. We have a lot going on here. So if they're telling the truth, it's the number 14. So you can do 9 plus 5 to get to 14. You could do 8 plus 6 to get to 14. I think that's the only 2 ways you're getting there. If that's accurate. If not, it's a complete dead end. So 9 is the fall guy. So if that's true, then we're missing something. So either this is accurate or it isn't. Oh, can we press it? I feel like that's not accurate. So we're going to circle because I don't think that's true. So now knowing that's not accurate, I don't need to waste my time on 6, 8. I can do something else. So this is the wife. I'll never forgive my partner. Sorry, I got to go back up there. So when she says, I'll never forgive my partner, and when the mistress is in play and I'm not lying or tainted, so she's good. I'm going to give her a little check. She's great. That is not a check mark. It's hard using the mouse as like a pen. It doesn't really function the same way, but we're going to try. There we go, to give a check mark. So isn't someone supposed to be adjacent to her? I surround the wife's partner, unless she's lying or tainted. Okay, where was the partner going to be? I announce the addresses and corresponding identity of an uninvestigated role. So finding the partner is going to be kind of challenging. Now the priest says, I don't feel so good. So that's not good. They're definitely lying, or someone's pretending to be the priest. So we're going to put lie, because that's not true. We have another mathematician who also calculated the number 14. I feel like that can't be accurate because we tried 14. So the only ways to get to 14 is 8 and 6 or 9 and 5. We have a weatherman now. The weatherman says 4, 5, and 6. So 1 leads to the innocent, 1 leads to an underling, and 1 leads to a traitor. Well, I haven't picked 6, so I guess I don't know. I am the priest. So if the priest is the innocent, because the weatherman tells you 1 of each, then 1 is the meddler and 1 is the underling or traitor. But how would you know? As the catch there. We have another mailman. The fall guy lives in town, but I've never heard of the partner. You've never heard of the partner? Well, we haven't found the partner. Oh. The tailor lives in town, but I've never heard of the copycat. Oh. I pretend to be a good in-play role. We have a lot of good roles. Man. But if they say they never forgive their partner, the mistress is in play. I'm adjacent to my innocent partner. So adjacent would mean across from. Which makes me think maybe he's the partner. There's the mistress. Okay. So I surround the wife's partner unless the wife is lying or tainted. Okay. So she's not lying or tainted. Now that gave me a roll. So you said 4, 5, and 6. So 6 is the meddler. So if we're saying this, because the weatherman gives you an innocent, an underling, and a traitor, or a meddler. So if we know that 6 is the innocent and 4 was the underling, then 5 is probably the meddler. We're not going to kill them. The thing is, I don't think you get 2 mathematicians, so maybe 3 is the copycat, because they copied the number exactly, 14, 14. We know who the fall guy is. So if you're the meddler and you're a copycat, then one of these 2 is not telling the truth. Mistress should be, I surround the partner's wife unless she's lying. So then where is the partner? They said you'd be adjacent. If there's no valid rules to solidify these rules, I say I love myself. So the partner is in play. Right? Okay. So the partner was in play. Who was the partner? I don't even know what the partner was. I figured that they were the copycat. I'm pretending to be the mailman. I still don't know what the partner is on this. Okay. So this one's easy. 3 underlings in town with a sniper in play. I don't think we've ever seen the sniper. So we might do an easy one. Just to... That one's actually very challenging. Okay. So we have 4 innocents, 3 underlings, and no meddlers, no traitors. Was any of these roles new? I think the skeptic is new. When investigating, I announce one address and its alignment. If your reputation is poor, I lose faith in you. I cannot target myself for information when I'm lying or tainted regardless of your reputation. I will announce one address and the opposite of its alignment. That's kind of who I want to find, is the skeptic. The sniper. When the clock tower rings, I kill the furthest alive and not arrested role. For me, I am adjacent to the clock tower. I lie and pretend to be a suspected role. To my knowledge, there's no clock tower. Oh, there is. So you're adjacent to the clock tower? So for you to be adjacent to the clock tower, you have to be... Sorry. So you have to... Oh, I don't want that. I just want this. Okay. Oh, not that. I cannot seem to... Okay, so I want... For adjacent to be... Okay. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, because I was doing so great before. So the only things that are adjacent are these 2. So these 3 are connected. So adjacent to the clock tower is either the sniper. So let's try one of these numbers. So we have the tailor. I can pick 2 roles and I can discuss if they're in the same alignment or not. I almost want to try this one. We have the therapist. I have 1 evil client. So you're saying adjacent to you is somebody evil. Well, adjacent is still 1 or 5. Well, no, that doesn't mean what I think it means then. So adjacent is just... So it would be 3 and 5 is adjacent to the clock tower. So the clock tower, we have either or this. I definitely clicked the wrong one. So if we're saying adjacent is someone evil, so it's either 1 or 5. Oh. We have something that's... You obscure a non-meddler role, hiding its name, appearance, and information. Numbers are not obscured. I lie and pretend to be a suspected role. We have a skeptic. Number 2 is good. Now, the problem is they announced one address and its alignment. If your reputation status is poor, I lose faith in you. I cannot target myself. But if you're lying or tainted, you give me the opposite of the alignment. Well, I can use the tailor. So you're saying 2 is good. And we're saying the 2 and tailor is good. 2 and tailor are not the same alignment. So either 2 is bad or tailor is bad. Now, you said you have 1 evil client. Which I can't tell. You're saying 2 is good. 2 could be bad. What is 2? We have the reporter. I'm 2 steps away from the closest evil. 2 steps away would be 4 or 6. 6 keeps coming back up. It's so hard to tell. I will never forgive my partner. Interesting. So I pick an innocent partner. I'm adjacent to an innocent partner. So you kind of are adjacent if that's true. I think 7 is lying. Yeah. So they were the sniper. Yeah, because that was not adding up at all. Okay. Partner says 3 is the priest. Why would they pretend to be something else? I don't know if that's true. And we know 2 and 6 are not the same alignment. And we know they have to be the tailor, so 2 is not good either. She's the mistress. Okay. All right. So we figured that out. You have one evil client. And you're saying 3 is the priest. But we don't know that. Because that doesn't really make sense. The mistress usually hangs around the partner's wife. So why would she be the priest? If you're tainted, you would announce something else. So it says they're not the same alignment. So that means you're good. So if I know for sure you're good, and that says you have one evil client, so either 1 or 5 is not good. Man, I don't think you're good. Yeah, because that didn't make sense. So they were the skeptic, and you pretended to be the skeptic. I obscured one and pretended to be the partner. I pretended to be the reporter. Okay. We're doing better. I'm starting to click. At first, I was like, "What? I don't know what's going on." We have a good cop. I don't think we've had the good cop role. I want to see new roles and get a better feel for that. It's getting a little bit more complicated. So we have 5 innocents, 2 meddlers, and 2 underling. What's new? Good cop, I think, is new. So it says you pick a role. I convert their alignment to my own when I'm in play. The bad cop is also in play. All right, well, it's the bad cop. I pretend to be the good cop. When I'm in play, the good cop is in play. When the bad cop is pretending to be the good cop and use their ability, they will make roles evil. Ooh. And we have the milkman. After the 24th hour, I become evil. Terrific. Okay, so we have the partner saying 3 is a milkman. We have 3 saying that he is the good cop. I'm not ready to use his ability yet. We have the wife. I will never forgive my partner. That's the only answer we ever get from the wife, by the way. So if the mistress is in play, so there has to be a mistress somewhere, and the mistress is usually hanging around. So we have the priest that says, I am the priest. I believe number 8. I think they're good to go. So we're going to try to grab the pen. We're going to say yes. We have another good cop, which means one of them is the bad cop. So Bloodhound points north. Oh. Let's see. If I'm lying or tainted, I will announce a random result from the following list. The results cannot be truthful. Don't know if that makes it true or not. I've calculated the number 10. You only get to 10 a few ways. So 9 and 1, 8 and 2, 6 and 4, 7 and 3. So we have 4 options there. The fall guy, if they're telling the truth. All roles consider me an evil underling. The roles cannot pretend. So no one else can be the fall guy. We have another good cop. So we have a copycat then. Because they can't all be good cops. They're saying 3 is the milkman. How would we know that? Okay. When I start investigating. When I'm lying or tainted, I pick a random uninvestigated address and announce they are a random not in play role. I will say hi partner if I am triggered and all roles investigated regardless of the I think he's telling the truth. No, I don't think he's telling the truth. That's the mistress. So 3 is the cop, the good cop. So I want to use you. Can we befriend 7? I befriended 7. Okay. Now we can't have 3 good cops. So somebody's a copycat and somebody's the bad cop. With the good cop, pick a role. I convert their alignment to my own. So I would have made 7 good. So I know they're good now. So I think 7's good and I think 8 is good. Oh, that was terrible. I cannot draw these check marks to save my life here. Okay. So I'm torn between 6 being bad and 1 being bad. We know the mistress is in play, so the wife is in play. And she said, I'll never forgive my partner. I am adjacent to an innocent partner. I mean, that would make sense. So we're going to use you to make 1 good. I befriended... Oh, now we have 2 meddlers. I don't really have 1 meddler. So that means they're the copycat. So that means they're also a copycat then? Or I guess their copycat pretend to be good. I befriended 4. But the numbers didn't change. So that doesn't make sense. If we're saying that 9 is good... Well, 9 may not be good, but she is adjacent to her cop, and the mistress is hanging around, so that seems accurate. I can't point... Well, no, it does point north, so that 7 is good. I am the priest, unless I'm wrong about the priest. What if I am lying or tainted, I'll announce something else. So I think they're legit. Now, with the wife... I mean, she's adjacent to a partner. I mean, I feel like she's where she needs to be. 4, you calculate the number 10. Well, if we're saying 7 is good and 3 is good, and the 6 is fine and 4, well, that makes me think it's 4. Oh, no, it wasn't them. 9, are you bad? Oh, wow, no, it's... Why am I off? One of these is not right. Oof. How did I mess up there? The bloodhound was bad? How is the bloodhound bad? Oh, because when I partnered with them, who befriended 7? Yeah, so 3 tainted them. Dang it. That's my fault. That was interesting. I like that. It was a little challenging, but I enjoyed it so far. Let me know in the comments below what you think.